wanted, now that our world had been added to. So my daughter, and even my second daughter, felt like a threat to me, even though also at the same time I did love her and I was her dad and I treated her that way. But deep inside, underneath it, there is this underlying feeling of being threatened. And my goodness, guys, that is so wrong. And I wish I hadn't wasted that time. Because, quite frankly, I had and I have a bigger mission, a bigger purpose. And we, gentlemen, have a bigger mission and a bigger purpose than simply being selfish and still wanting to get what we can out of whoever. I'm talking about marriage because it was just my daughter who was just born. So we have a bigger mission, a bigger purpose than getting what we can out of our wives. And our mission and our purpose is to pursue Jesus at all costs, to secure our families at all costs, to love at all costs, not from a place of neediness, but from a place of strength. And now this time, with this third daughter being born, I am so thankful that Jesus has transformed me now. My drive, she was born at 11 a.m. yesterday, and I was invested and present and involved and loving in the whole process as I am still and was. What was on my mind once she was born and taken care of and everybody was good was, okay, I need to get back on mission here because I have a family to secure. So what was on my mind was, now that everybody is taken care of, let me, as the man of the house, get back to the job at hand. Because I'm sorry, gentlemen, the war does not end because a baby is born. The battle does not end because a daughter is brought into the house. In fact, the battle cranks up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 notches because now I have another life under my protection, under my leadership, under my command. And Jesus has transformed me to the point where now I can actually live from a place of strength to cover and protect, and not out of a place of neediness. He says, if you seek to save your life, you will lose it. But if you lose your life for my sake, you will find it. And I'm thankful that he's working that into me more and more all the time. So here I am the day after my baby was born, early in the morning, recording my next podcast episode because this is my mission. And God has spoken to me. He has said, Matt, you will secure your family. This is how you are going to provide for them, by serving the men of my kingdom, by serving the men in my church, by helping to awaken them. So, gentlemen, this morning I'm asking you, how are you doing with this? Do you need to wake up? Do you need to come alive in a way that is living beyond just how can I make sure that I still get mine in the middle of this? And are you able to live connected to the mission of Jesus, to what he has for you? You know, when we think of King Saul, we don't think of a good Bible hero. We think of a man who blew it, who lost his rule, basically, and he died as punishment. God took his life because Saul conducted himself in such a gnarly way. And he was consumed over and over again with his selfishness. And oh no, David's getting all the attention. David is getting all of the praise. People are writing songs saying that David has killed Saul has killed his thousands, but David is tens of thousands. And he started letting jealousy sink in, and he thought, I'm not getting mine. And there's times in his life where it's clear that he was upset and distraught because men weren't following him, because he wasn't getting the right attention that he wanted. He wasn't concerned with how men and the kingdom were following God. And he was always wanting to seek Samuel in order to get a favorable word for himself. And you know what? As soon as Samuel died, his loyalty was not to the Father, was not to God, because he didn't establish a relationship, a history with God. He didn't establish a pattern in his life of going after the Father, of going after the presence, of loving the presence. He established this pattern of going after Samuel to get what he needed from Samuel. And so when Samuel died, it wasn't about honor. It wasn't about continuing on his God-given mission in the kingdom. It was about, shoot, my source of life is gone. So I'm going to go find a medium, somebody who can conjure up the dead so I can still talk to Samuel, because I'm not going to talk with God. How selfish was that? But you guys, as men, we live this way. And I'm sorry to say it, but we do. We live like Saul. And we seek a favorable word so that we can feel better about ourselves. And we're always focused on how, if we're not getting the attention that we need, if we're not getting the favor that we want. But you guys, it's time that we stop living like Saul. And yeah, I know David, he majorly blew it. Maybe even like this one sin with Bathsheba, and then sentencing her her husband to death because he wanted her for himself. That was awful. And that was a bigger sin than I can find really in Saul's life. But the difference is that David had a heart that wanted God. And when he blew it, he didn't go look for somebody to make him feel better outside of the Father's presence. He went and he repented and he poured himself out before God, because he was a man of principle who knew that his life was found in God and not in anything less. And so he was a man after God's own heart, even in the middle of his sin, because he was driven to his presence. And so the transformation that I have gone through, gentlemen, from my first daughter being born to now my third daughter being born, is massive. It's huge, and I'm so thankful for it. Because now I have become more a man of principle who can get on mission. And I'm excited that my daughter's here, and I don't feel a threat coming, because I'm not finding my identity in what I'm getting or not getting from my wife. I'm finding my identity in the man that I am being in the presence of Jesus. I'm finding my identity in the kingdom, not in my wife anymore. It's not all about what I am getting or not getting from her. It's about who am I being for her sake? Who am I being for the sake of my children? Who am I being as a man of identity in the kingdom as a son. And from that place, I can live according to principle. I can live according to mission. And now I'm actually able to earn the heart of the people around me. Gentlemen, I'm able to live in a way where it's all about Jesus. And yeah, I've got the things in life that are threatening right now. But it is all about Jesus. It's all about finding him. It's all about finding his mission. It's all about seeking his presence. And last night, I went outside in my yard to exercise, as I often do. And I was so overtaken in worship that I was dancing around my yard in the dark in worship with my earphones in, silently singing. It was the weirdest thing. I'm opening up, being vulnerable here. I was singing as loud as I could without using my voice. So I was mouthing all the words and like worshiping with my arms swinging, my hands held high, and I wanted the presence of Jesus. I want him in the middle of my new daughter being born. I want Jesus. And I want to be a man who secures my family, who walks in strength. So, gentlemen, I feel like this morning is a bit of rambling, my thoughts just on being a new dad. Hopefully there was something there for you. I'm not sure whether there was or not, but I want to invite you, if there's something that you are needing, if there's something on your mind, if there's something that you are struggling with, that you are going through, I want you to send me an email with the subject line, Man Warrior King Podcast, prayer request. And I want you to just say what it is that you need prayer for. And I will pray for you. Because we're in this together. And as a reminder, you can find me on Instagram, Man Warrior King. You can find me on Facebook, Man Warrior King. If you head to manwarriorking.com, you can join our email community. I'm building more community as we speak, gentlemen. This is just the beginning. We are going to build a community of video calls. We are going to do a group program where you guys are going to be transformed and set on fire for Jesus. And you're going to be able to live above the norm. You're going to be able to break out of passivity and people pleasing, especially with your wives and with your kids. You're going to be able to bust into confidence and strength. You're going to be able to live in a way that you are proud of, that captures the hearts of your family rather than grabs at them all the time. And remember, there is my book, The DNA of a Man, that just came out. Feel free to go find that on Amazon or get in touch with me. I'm happy to give you a few free chapters. But do email me, Matt, M-A-T-T, at manwarriorking.com. Tell me what you need prayer for. Tell me how you need transformation. Tell me the things that are dogging you, and I will join with you in prayer. All right, gentlemen, love you. It's another episode of Man Warrior King. I'll talk to you later.